And we are live, people. Welcome to my live show. This is in celebration of me recently hitting 2,500 subs. And I was supposed to do this a bit earlier, so I've actually already hit 2,600 subs, but I digress. This is an amazing accomplishment, and I wasn't really expecting. I guess I should backtrack up. My main goal for the year, for all of 2025, was to hit 2,500 subs. But a recent video that I had, my top 10 objectively worst Stephen King videos, the algorithm decided to blow that up, and everybody and their mama watched it. And I got a lot of traction from that. So I hit my goal much more quickly than I expected. And for this live show, it's a celebration of that, and also a Q&A with me and also my wife, Stacy, who will be joining us very shortly. And we've already got some people here. So let's thank you, everybody, for showing up. Hey, Andrea. Also got Culinary Crime. We got Fina. Hello. And then we have this Andrew guy. Party. But yeah, this is going to be a Q&A section. I do have some written down from my Discord members. They asked some questions, but you guys can ask away in the chat as well, and I'll try to get to those. And also, Stacy will be here shortly, and she'll probably be answering some of these as well. Mad respect, Andrew. Mad respect. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and get started in a few minutes here. I'll let everybody kind of join the chat here. Literally opened YouTube and you popped up. I had no idea this was happening. Well, it's happening and you're here. So it was fate. It was fate, Andrew. I might go ahead and I might go ahead and ask myself some questions that are more leaned towards me. Like I said, Stacy will be answering some of these, but a few of these are more directed at me. So speaking of Andrea, she asks, if you could write a Stephen King book, what would you write? And the Stephen King book that I have always wanted Stephen King to write is actually a sequel to Firestarter. And hopefully Ian doesn't show up, because Ian has nuggety taste sometimes. But Firestarter was amazing. One of my all-time favorite Stephen King books. In the ending, I won't spoil it, of course, but it always just felt like it needed a sequel. And of course, when Stephen King came out with Dr. Sleep, I had a feeling like, oh, he might go back and revisit some of his other stuff, like Firestarter. But that hasn't happened yet. But I would love to either read Firestarter, or if I wanted to myself, write Firestarter, the sequel. I think that would be really cool. And speaking of Stacy, she is joining us.
Hi.
I just told everybody that I would write the sequel to Firestarter.
Yeah, you love that one, don't you?
Yep. And Andrew says Cujo sucks. You know what? You know what dog doesn't suck though? It's Ozzy. He's a good boy.
He's a needy boy, but he's good.
Andrew, okay. Yeah, me and Andrew sometimes have weird. Sometimes we agree on Stephen King, and sometimes we completely disagree. So it's a lot of fun. And yes, Stacy is here, and Ozzy is a cute one. He's a keeper.
Come here. Get in the video.
All right, so
He's I don't know what you're doing.
So I'll try to get to I'll try to get to some of these questions, and you can answer them as well if you want to. This first one is definitely more geared towards both of us.
Okay.
What is your favorite and least favorite thing of living together? So, do you want me to go first, or you go first?
I can go first.
Okay.
I think for me, it's just being able to bug you whenever I want.
That's it?
Yeah. Like if I want a hug, or if I want you to do something, or if I want to ask you something, you're just here.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's different. Like we started long distance. So it's just a different dynamic. And then least favorite thing, probably just that I have a lot less reading time. And I really miss reading sprints. Because when we were long distance, we used to, like, in our evenings, curl up and do reading sprints together over voice chat. And so we did, like, more reading. And we talked about our reading, I think, even more back then. So, yeah.
Jake won't put the toilets.
No, actually, he's very good with that.
Yeah. Andrew.
I'm going to get rid of these because there's a glare.
Okay. Yeah, we should try to do more reading sprints because those were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Although our reading sprints usually turned into us reading like one time and then we would chat for 2 hours.
Well, if it was like that, we would start setting a timer to where we're like, okay, when the timer goes off, we start reading.
We could do reading sprints, but I think this is going to be more of like a 1 hour, 1.5 thing. I've got other stuff to do later today, but maybe we should do them like on the channel because those would be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And yes, we all miss Sharon.
Yeah. Definitely. She was the reason we did reading sprints.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, obviously we wanted to be on voice chat, but beyond that.
Yeah. But my favorite thing of living with you is just being able to see you every day because like she said, we're long distance for a few years. So now getting to see you every day is much better. But my least favorite thing is actually our differing sleep schedules.
Yeah.
Because I'm definitely more of a morning person and you're a night person.
It leads to the reading time I do get though.
I mean, same to me. Like I'll wake up and get a lot of reading in.
Yeah.
But it's less time to spend with you.
Yeah.
So
yeah, Jake is a quality time person. He likes to spend time together.
Yeah.
For sure. Hey.
And least favorite kid teen in a probably
who's the most whiny?
The guy, I can't remember his name now because it's my least favorite. The Talisman.
Oh, okay.
The kid from The Talisman. That's my least favorite Stephen King book. I can't even remember his name right now. It's slipped in my mind, but just The Talisman in general and the kid. I can't remember his name. Wait, I thought this was Jake Bishop's channel. Wrong channel, Ian. Jake secretly thinks Stacy is super gay.
Ozzy and Noelle are like,
our dogs.
Yeah.
Favorite Stephen King character? That's really tough. My favorite villain, I've done my favorite Stephen King villains before, is Annie Wilkes. So that might be my favorite character, but there's also Dolores Claiborne, which is your favorite.
Yeah.
Like as far as protagonists go, like she might be my all-time favorite character. Can't wait for Stephen King to write Holly as the new main protagonist of The Dark Tower. You're going to speak that into existence, my friend. That's Jack Sawyer. That's That's probably my least favorite. Are you planning to continue the monthly Stephen King reads on Discord with Ian next year? So no, we're not going to do books, but we do have an idea, and Ian can back me up on this. I think we're actually going to do a Stephen King movie thing. So like every month we watch like either 1 or 2 Stephen King movies.
Oh, that's news to me.
Yeah. We just started chatting about it, but we haven't finalized anything, but there's not really that many more Stephen King books that Ian has left. And a lot of them I don't really want to read. So, I mean, Ian can continue it if he wants to, but as far as me, there's not a lot that I want to go back and reread.
Weren't you guys also toying with the idea of like a Redwall read along?
Well, that's happening, but we're going to be continuing Stephen King, but with movies, most likely.
Okay.
And Ian can chat about it. Top 3 King characters you would hate to be locked in a room with. Annie Wilkes. Basically the villains, my favorites. Annie Wilkes, Jack Torrance, and Pennywise. I think that would be pretty scary.
Yeah.
Dead Zone, get out of here.
I agree with you, Andrew.
The best King book ever, in my opinion. Where does Carrie White rank on your favorite characters? She's my number 1. She's definitely up there. I know she's not your favorite.
Well, I didn't really enjoy my reading experience of Carrie, but it wasn't really Carrie that was the problem for me. It was all the delving into how things were possible, and then Sue's character didn't do it for me.
Well, Carrie White would probably make my top 10, probably. And I am pumped for the Long Walk movie as well.
Yeah.
That I've been dying for a Long Walk adaptation because that was like one of Stephen King's first books, and it just I thought it would just make a perfect movie, but it's taken so long to get it. It's on video, so it's a thing now. Stephen King movie. I mean, yeah, probably. Thank you, Mindy. Carrie is the greatest work of fiction. Yeah, take that, Stacy. I mean, to each their own.
Yeah, but it didn't work that well for me.
All right, so I'm going to try to get to some of these other questions that I have written down here. Helena says, if one author would give you and your channel a negative shout out and a positive shout out, Which one would you choose for which? And for me, I think it would be funny either way for Stephen King to give me a shout out. Like either he's praising my channel or he's just like, oh, this guy sucks. He has terrible taste in my books. Let's see. Randall Flagg, that would actually be pretty terrifying. I might have to switch that. Yeah. Do you think The Long Walk or The Running Man will be a better film? I think The Long Walk. Yeah, I think that one. Yeah, I'm going to go with The Long Walk. Stacy doesn't have taste.
Oh, I've got opinions.
She has taste, just not as good as mine. No, I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
okay.
I'm just kidding. We just have different taste.
Yeah.
I'd be friends with all of them. Def would not be on their bad. Well, yeah, you don't want to get on their bad side. What other questions we got here? Nothfan asks, what makes a 5-star book for you and your rating system in general? So what makes a 5-star book for you?
Well, I can answer for you.
Oh, you can answer for me.
If it's a 5-star for Jake, it means he wants to reread it in the future. And there's nothing like he would change about the story.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. For a 5-star for me has to be more of an emotional connection. Like I have to be really invested in the story to the point where like my interest is not waning at all. And yeah, it has to do something extra for me. I'm very picky.
You are very picky.
Yeah,
and
like-
I like good books, Andrew.
Some.
But yeah, basically, and then my star rating system is basically like 5 stars. I wouldn't really change anything. 4.5 is like almost perfect, like some nitpicky stuff that keeps it from being 5 stars. 4 stars is like still really good, but not the best. 3.5 stars is pretty good. 3 stars is just good. Like could go either way. 2.5 stars is like, this was a slog to get through, not my favorite. And then 2 stars is just bad. I had a bad time with it. And anything lower than that is just god awful. So that's my star rating system. In terms of Stephen King villains, my favorites are in order. Charlie Decker, okay. Margaret White, which I agree is the villain, and Annie Wilkes, yeah. Pretty solid. I agree with Stacy. A
Yeah.
book has to make me laugh, cry, gasp. Yeah.
I have to be invested and have the reactions.
Yeah. For me, also, it has to have great characters for it to be 5 stars. Because I'm definitely, I mean, I like both characters and plot, but I'm probably more leaning towards characters.
I think for me, like I'm more of a plot reader. And I can really enjoy a good character, but all of my favorite characters are ones that are reacting to things happening in the plot. So if there's nothing happening, then like the characters or the plot don't work for me.
Okay.
So it's one of those.
And this next question we can both answer. Andrea's other question, what is the worst book you have ever read and your best? And if Andrew's still here, he probably knows what the worst book I ever read was because I lost a book bet. Do you remember what the book bet was?
No.
It's been a couple years, but basically my punishment was that I had to read clown erotica, and it was god awful. It was called Floppy Shoes Apocalypse, and it was clown horror erotica, and it was just god awful. And yeah, it was pretty bad. But also, speaking of book bets, the first year I ever did fantasy football, I came in last, and the person who won got to pick a punishment for me. And they knew that I like to read, so they made me read 50 Shades of Grey, and I hated that book. So both of those are like the worst books I ever read. And then my best is A Song of Ice and Fire, Storm of Swords. Those are my favorite books of all time.
Yeah.
What's the worst and best book you've ever read?
Good question. I don't know if it's like the worst book I've ever read, but one that's like very, very low that I really didn't like anything about was Hyde by Kirsten White.
Yeah.
That one was just such a disappointment because I thought from the synopsis before it came out that I was going to really like it. Best book I've ever read. I don't know if there's like, I'm somebody who has a hard time picking out my favorite, but a couple of like the ones that are really up there for me would be like Golden Sun by Pierce Brown or what else? Sword of Kaigen by Emma Wong. Though that one is kind of like rough in the beginning, so I don't know if it's like the best. But like in terms of like one that I really remember that had a really emotional impact on me, like Burning God, Sword of Kaigen, Golden Sun. Yeah. To go back to the question about Sue being one of the best characters, for me, she didn't work because she kind of made like a 180 on her decisions, and I found it really real unrealistic because I didn't understand the motivations or the reasoning behind that choice, and I just felt like it was very like out of character for who she was prior to that, or like from what we knew. But like also maybe that's a thing of its time, but it just like was very opposite of like the experience that I would assume for like what I went through in high school, or like what people around me in high school were doing. Like I thought that was kind of strange.
So to answer Ian's question, I'd have to go back and like look at his bibliography, but the first one that comes to mind is Revival. That was like 2014, 2015. Like that's just for me a straight up horror novel. That's
Under the Dome.
That was 2010.
Okay.
So the most recent one that I can think of is Revival, but I could be misremembering, but he's written, a lot of stuff that's more leaning towards thriller and mystery nowadays. You could argue you like it darker as mostly horror, but that's a collection. So if we're going novels, probably Revival. Really? Sounds terrible. Yeah, Floppy. Don't read those books. They were pretty bad. What is the most unexpected 5-star read you had to you both?
Ooh, like the most surprising?
One of the books that I went in with very low expectations was Piranesi, because I DNF'd her other book, not Doctor Strange, Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell. I DNF'd that book, and then I saw that she wrote like a much smaller book, and I was very curious. So I went into that with very low expectations, but ended up loving it, and I've reread it a few times. One of my all-time favorite standalone fantasies. So that one was very unexpected.
One that was very unexpected for me back in like 2018 when I read it was The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. It was my first experience with any kind of Taylor Jenkins read, and I was like, historical fiction about somebody in Hollywood? Like, this sounds like not my thing. But my sister really enjoyed it, and she had given me her copy, so I decided to try it, and yeah, I was very absorbed into that one.
Yeah. I've been reading a huge amount of science fiction lately, but feel like it's nerfing my ability to enjoy other genres. For example, I can no longer... Oh, God. Really, people? Sue Snow is a great character. I don't know. Yeah, okay. We all have
their own.
We all have our opinions. If you could only reread one King book for the rest of your life and all others get wiped from your memory, which would you choose? I know what you're choosing.
Sorry, what was the question?
I'll answer. It's The Dead Zone. That's my all-time favorite. The King book that you would, the only King book you would want to reread for the rest of your life.
Dolores Claiborne.
Yeah, that's in my top 10, and that's a very good answer. But for me, it would have to be The Dead Zone, my all-time favorite. Have you read my books by Lily Phillips?
Nope. I have not. No.
Never heard of that. Stacy, if you had to have a channel about something other than books, what would it be about? I know Jake says music. All right. Yeah, my second channel is dead.
So. Mine would be about Ozzy.
Our dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like if you look at my photos on my phone, half of it is Ozzy.
Oh yeah.
And he's always doing something really cute. And he's just a needy boy. He likes attention. It would have to be about Ozzy.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And this one's kind of more directed towards me. If you hadn't been a mailman, which I am a mailman, what career would you have chosen? So for me, this is tricky because I'm not really sure, but I originally went to college and got my degree in psychology. So if I would have maybe went a bit further and got my master's degree, I could have done something with that. But at the tail end of college, I kind of realized I liked learning about it more than I wanted to actually do anything with it. So maybe that. And also I could have gone down a more musical route, but for me, music is just, I didn't want to have that make it my job necessarily. So I'm happy with my current profession. Have you ever read Mr. X by Peter Straub? I just did. It's probably the worst book I've, every time I've tried to read Peter Straub, I can't get into his writing. I think that's one of the reasons why The Talisman and Black House are my least favorites. It's got to be something with Straub because just never. Feeny wants a Ozzy channel.
Yeah. Oh, I could also do something about cooking.
Yeah, you're a great cook.
Thanks.
And more, the people want more Ozzy content. Have you ever been? I was in a band in kind of my senior year of high school and a little bit in college. I mean, I've been in like school bands, obviously, but as far as like actual bands, like me playing drum set in high school and college, I was in a band and we would do like covers of tons of classic rock songs and a little bit of modern. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. We had wedding gigs, beach gigs, bar gigs. So it was a lot of fun. We just played a lot of classic rock stuff.
I could answer that one.
What is the hottest romantic novel you've ever read?
So the stuff that's actually really smutty doesn't tend to be a great read for me. I like more of like an emotional connection before we get into smut. But one that like a series that worked really well for me in terms of good smut and good payoff. Possibly the Bargainer series by Laura Thalassa, or what else? I'll come back to that.
Okay.
But that's what's coming to mind right away.
My Husband Swears by Ghost Story. Now, I've tried to read this one and I couldn't get into it. So, and I know that's supposed to be one of his better ones. So I'm not sure if he's going to be for me. What do you think about listening to audiobooks? I found it easy to follow along on my drive home. Managed to get through. Good Lord. But yeah, basically audiobooks, like we both love audiobooks.
Yeah.
If you had to change your channel names, what would you change them to? Immediate thoughts. The Drumish Booker.
I toyed around with different channel names when I was starting a channel, and I had Jake brainstorm with me. If I were still living in Canada, I thought about Books by the Bay because I grew up by Georgian Bay, and that was like a big part of, my lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously that didn't work out after I moved. Yeah, there's a lot of spam today.
Yeah. Will Talisman 3 be better or worse than the last two? Well, I have no idea. It's going to be really funny if somehow Holly ends up in the Talisman 3 book. I don't know. I'm going to read it because I'm a king completionist, but I am not looking forward to it, if I'm being honest. We're just fine, but Mr. X was terrible. Yeah. I mean, some people love Straub, but he's not for everybody, clearly. Yeah, the Drumish Booker. Yep. You ever read Mike Howard's? Nope. Never heard of that either. And then another question leaned towards me as well. Why did you choose drums? Do you play any other instruments? So, funny story. 6th grade, I joined bands, not really quite sure what I was going to do, but I really wanted to play saxophone because drums now are my favorite instrument. But back then, for some reason, I was really into saxophone. So I really wanted to try that out. And they gave me like a reed to like blow into to see if I could produce any sound. And nothing was happening. And they were just kind of like, yeah, how about drums? How about percussion? And the rest is history. I've been drumming since 6th grade. So that's almost 20 years now. So, and then as far as other instruments go, like I know a lot of different various percussion instruments. But other than that, not really. I can riff around on the guitar a little bit, but not really. So drums is definitely where it's at.
If you're curious, I play piano and French horn.
Very nice. Yeah, I agree. Holly's in a different universe. You never know. Who is an author you've only read a couple books from that you think could be an all-time favorite author? I know what your answer is going to be.
What's my answer?
John Gwynne.
Yeah.
I'd have to think about it. Well, right now I've only read 3 Nat Cassidy books, but I'm sure, and I don't. He's got like 3 books and a novella. I'm going to keep reading his stuff, obviously, but he could become an all-time favorite author, if he writes more books, and I love all of them. So
I would also say ML Wong for me, because so far I've only read Sword of Kaigen. And I started Blood Over Brighthaven, but I just didn't have time to finish it with everything else on my TBR, but I was really invested in it. So yeah, I would say, yeah.
Man, these spam comments are crazy. Good Lord, people. All right, what is he insane? Jake sucks at, yep, I do. All right, can I
Hang on.
Delete this
No,
person.
that's a leave that one.
Sorry, people. We have a lot of spam. My internet. Yeah, please. If you can report some of these people, that'd be good. Good Lord. Let's see. Yeah, this next question I had a hard time thinking of an answer. But what is the spookiest, strangest thing that has ever happened to you? And for me, I think this question was kind of more leaning towards like unexplained phenomena, but like I'm definitely a skeptic when it comes to that. Like whenever people tell me their paranormal stories or like Bigfoot stuff, I'm always very skeptical. So I don't really have any kind of spooky, strange stories. What about you?
I don't really have any like strange occurrences in that vein. But I have like been woken up in the middle of the night with like police lights outside the window and like them in our yard with their dogs trying to find somebody. So that was a little bit spooky.
What else is it? Oh yeah, what was the first King book I ever read? Do you remember what your first King book was?
My first one was either Carrie or Misery. I don't remember which.
And you didn't like either one of those.
No.
My first one, funny enough, when I was growing up, my dad basically let me watch any horror movie that I wanted to, like rated R stuff. And I watched a ton of Stephen King stuff. And by the time I realized that like he didn't direct these movies, he was writing books and people were making movies about them, I wanted to read some. So I wanted, of course, to read like The Shining and Cujo and all that stuff. But for some reason, my dad gave me a copy of The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon, which I think was probably the worst book he could have chosen for me because it was about a little girl, like a little 9-year-old girl getting lost in the woods, also with a bunch of baseball stuff. And I just really didn't get along with it. And then I really didn't get back into reading Stephen King until college when I heard about Dr. Sleep. And so I read The Shining and Dr. Sleep back to back and really enjoyed it. And that's basically what got me into Stephen King. What is your favorite type of horror trope? It's a good question. I don't know if I really think about tropes too much. I really need to like the characters. That's what I'm more leaning into. But what's your answer? Well, you don't read a lot of horror.
Yeah, I don't read a ton of horror. For me, I know what doesn't work for me. I'm not sure I figured out like my favorite trope in terms of what does work for me. I do like a good haunted house when it's like escalating. But yeah, I also don't love a lot of description, so that can really go either way. You missed here. Yeah.
Okay. I have 2 books in the works right now. One is called Rejection and the other is called Psychosis. Based on names alone, would you consider reading them? Maybe Psychosis. That sounds interesting.
Rejection sounds intriguing to me because I love a reactive character who's going through something tough. And if somebody's been rejected, like that's a tough situation to be in. And there's a lot you could expand on with that. So, like, intriguing to me.
Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon is such a wild place to start with King. Yeah, I think maybe he gave that to me because it was short and it was a kid character, but still, it's not what I wanted, and I didn't like it at the time. I've since reread it as an adult, and I like it. I liked it a lot more. It's a 4-star read for me. Really, the only downside is all the baseball stuff. Rejection is basically 80s Scream. Okay, pretty interesting. And then you wrote down a bunch of questions for me.
Yeah.
If we want to get into those. So Stacy asks, what's your favorite video you've ever done or we've done? That is a tricky question. I've of course made a ton of Stephen King stuff. But I think one of my favorite videos that when I first made it didn't really get a lot of traction. I compared, like 2 of like some of my favorite authors of all time. I compared George R. R. Martin with Brandon Sanderson, and they obviously don't have a lot in common, but they also do. So I thought it was an interesting video to try to compare the 2, and it's since gotten a little bit of traction. But yeah, I really enjoyed making that video.
Okay.
I put Tom Gordon off for years, but actually enjoyed it. Yeah, it's a good read. It's just the baseball stuff. I'm glad you liked my ranking. That's good. I'll definitely watch those.
I think Tom Gordon putting it off until you're not as young as Jake was when he read it is probably the right decision, because I feel like you can appreciate the tension or like scariness of that situation more as an adult.
Yeah, when I read it when I was
Ian?
yep, see Ian. When I read it when I was, I don't know, 11 or 12, I was just like, I don't care.
Yeah. Yep.
And then biggest challenge of having a channel. The biggest challenge of having a channel is probably, is that you have less time to do other stuff.
Yeah.
You have less time to read. You just, it takes up a lot of your time. Like getting the ideas ready, filming it, editing, uploading it, and trying to get it to people. That takes up a lot of time. If I wasn't doing YouTube, I could probably be reading, like 1.5 times the amount of books I'm reading right now.
Yep.
And have a lot more reading time.
Yep.
You agree?
Yeah, I do think there are other challenges though, for sure. Like for me, it's a lot of like coming up with things and then how to structure them once I come up with them.
On to reading Fight Club. I know you weren't a big fan of it, but I'll see it. Yeah, I think the movie itself is overrated. So going into reading the book, I already knew it was going to happen, but I just did not like the writing style, and I just didn't like the writing style. And I've tried to read other books by him too, and his writing style just doesn't work for me. So it is what it is. And good Lord, all the spam today. I've never had this happen on a live stream for me. Good God. All right. Oh, Lord. Do we have anybody in here that's not a bot? Okay, what's next? How do you come up with video ideas, thought process? So I love to do ranking videos, which I know is a little bit different than what you sometimes do. But they basically, I come up with lists all the time, just in my head. I'll write them down. Like I'll do my top 10 albums. I'll do my top 10 movies. So doing a booktube channel, naturally, I'll go to top 10 list and ranking videos. So a lot of that comes from that. And then other times, if I can't come up with anything, I'll just kind of scroll through YouTube and look at what other people are doing, or tag videos, or just anything to kind of just spark something.
You will sit there and stare at the shelves too.
Oh yeah, it's just sometimes Stacy will walk in and I'm just staring at the shelves for like 5 minutes. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Okay, good. Someone is still here. Oh, they're not. All right. And then what has having a channel taught you? That's an interesting question. What has it taught me?
Well, you've gotten more techie.
Oh God. Yeah, I'm not a very technical person, but I've learned to navigate through editing. And basically, I don't know if you guys know this, but I edit everything on my phone. I know a lot of people like film and do everything with their laptop, but I could not figure out how to do that properly. So I basically downloaded an app on my phone, and I do all of my filming and all my editing on my phone on an editing app. And it's very streamlined and it's very easy to do. And that was kind of the main way I was able to do it. How to burp on a chair. There you go. Okay, thank you. Thanks for joining. And then what else we got here? What's the best book someone else made you read that you wouldn't have picked up otherwise? Well, you made me read a lot of books. That's for sure.
But you also have a Patreon pick that one of your Patreons picks something for you to read every month.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Fina, she's here. She got me to read that whole fantasy trilogy. That was really good. Now I'm blank. Of course, I'm blanking on
Curtis Craddock one.
Yeah, Curtis Craddock.
Okay.
Risen Kingdoms. Yeah, I read that whole trilogy. She won 3 times, and each time she picked a book in that trilogy, and it was really good. So that's a good example. But also, you've made me read a ton of stuff. You made me read the Riley Sager book, and that one was stellar.
House Across the Lake.
House Across the Lake, which I know a lot of people don't love, but we both liked it.
Yes.
And yes, Risen Kingdoms was very good. Do you know if they're writing any other books, because that's all I've ever heard of Curtis Craddock. Just stopping by to say I have loved your videos. Thank you very much. And you convinced me to read Doomickey, and I loved it. Yes, Doomickey is one of the best Stephen King books. Superbly underrated, and I'm glad that you enjoyed it.
I haven't read that one, but I don't think I'm gonna like it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you don't like most Stephen King, so I wouldn't recommend it. There's some Stephen King books I think you might enjoy, like The Outsider and Billy Summers,
Yeah.
like some of his newer stuff.
I can see that.
But there's definitely Stephen King books that you should just not touch.
Okay.
Like The Stand is probably the book that you would hate the most.
Okay.
It's super long and drawn out, and there's some weird dream stuff, which I know you don't like, and yeah, it's apocalypse, which you don't like either.
Yeah. I think with me, like post-apocalyptic tends to have like a plot formula to where like I can basically predict the things that are going to happen because they're like standard things that happen in most post-apocalyptic stories.
Curtis Craddock has one more book, Sparrow's Flight. I haven't read it yet, though. Okay. I might have to put that on my Goodreads. Does letting others pick your books usually go well or not so well? It's very mixed. Sometimes I've had it, not very often, but sometimes I'll get a couple 5-star reads. More often than not, it's in the 3 to 4-star range. So it's not like an all-time favorite, but it is something that I at least enjoy. And maybe it gets me to read something that I wouldn't have guessed to read in the first place, which is kind of the main reason why I like to do it. Sometimes I end up DNFing it. Like I DNF'd Andrea's pick, and then she picked something else, and then I ended up really liking that. So it happens, but it's always very random. I liked House Across the Lake and tried to recommend to my mom, and she had already read it. So my sister was like, I will take it.
Yeah. I think with that one, it was one of the cases where like I never felt more duped by a twist. And I really enjoyed the experience of that. Now, I do understand like people who hate it because they're like, oh, this twist was not what I wanted. But yeah, for me, it worked very well.
Yeah, the twist, it's one of those twists where you're like, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense. And then you go back and read something and you're like, oh.
I had to go back and reread portions.
Let me know when you guys read it. Buddy read. Yeah, we can do buddy read. We're all about the buddy reads on the Discord.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
Have so many.
We can't keep up with them.
I'm perpetually behind at this point. Next year, less buddy reads, but still some.
All right. And let me just double check that I didn't miss anything, because quite a few here. I think we touched on all of them. But you've got a couple more. I've done some skits on my channel, or we got a comment. What was the worst twist you've ever read? This is a video idea I'm going to do soon. So I'm not going to say maybe the worst one, but there's definitely some really bad ones. We've read some really bad ones.
Yeah. One that Jake will not agree with, but that did not work for me based on things that apply to my taste, was that Sarah Pinborough one, In Her Eyes.
Behind Her Eyes.
Yeah,
that twist was awesome, but that's very polarizing.
Yeah. For me, it was not awesome.
People hated that twist, but I really thought it was cool. But yeah, twists are very subjective. Mm-hmm. I do plan on making a top 10 video, because I've already done my top 10 best twists, which was fun. But now going back and looking at what were my least favorite twists.
Another one for me is Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes.
Yeah, that one
I was so mad when I read that one.
Yeah, that one wasn't, I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't like terrible.
I was just like, really? Like that is the thing? Like, no.
There's at least one Riley Sager book, because I know we talked about House Across the Lake, but there's one in particular. I won't say what it is, but I was really enjoying the book, and then we got to that twist, and I was like, no, this is what. No, I don't want to say it.
Survive the Night.
I don't want to say it.
Okay. I thought you didn't want to say the twist, not which book.
No. But that's not the book.
Okay.
But I just don't. I want to keep I haven't come out with my list yet.
Oh.
So don't say what it is. But it's not that.
Okay. But a lot of people don't like the twist in that one.
Yeah. I have to read The House Across. Yeah. It's not for everybody, so keep that in mind. But we both liked it. Good luck reading Never. I liked Never Flinch more than Holly, but it's still not that great. So good luck. Final Girls. I pegged the twist and wasn't a fan. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people say they predicted the twist in that one. I did not, but I also think it's kind of like an homage to horror, which I don't read a ton of. So
Final Girls was my least favorite Riley
Yeah.
Sager book. And I've heard a lot of people say that if you're already a horror fan and you read Final Girls, it doesn't really do it justice. So that one was definitely my least favorite. I don't give a lot of thrillers 5 stars, but if a twist shocks me enough, I will give it 5 stars. That's true because we were just talking about Behind Her Eyes. For the most part, I was more leaning towards giving that book 4 stars, but the ending just completely shocked me and duped me. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. 5 stars. Retroactively, though, it's not a 5-star book, but I loved the ending to that book. All right. Oh yeah. I was going to talk about I don't do them very often anymore, but I used to do a lot of skits early on in my channel, and those were a lot of fun, but also very time consuming, which is one of the reasons why I don't do them anymore. Do I have a favorite skit that I've done on my channel, and am I going to do any in the future? If I think of anything good, I'll do them in the future, but like I said, they're very time consuming. One of my favorite ones, I have a few. I did one where Disney buys Stephen King, and that led to basically Stephen King and Mickey Mouse going at it, which was very fun. And Disney wanted to remake Carrie, and yeah, it was very funny. I also, one of my favorite ones that I still laugh at because sometimes I'll go back and watch it is I did I don't remember what it's called, but it was basically like smutty audiobooks. So basically the
audiobooks gone wild.
audiobooks,
wild,
audiobooks gone wild, where I'm just trying to sit down and listen to audiobooks, but all of my books turn smutty. So like I'm trying to listen to like Brandon Sanderson or A Song of Ice and Fire or Harry Potter, and they're all turned smutty, and it was very funny. So those were my favorite ones to do.
I like the one where King is interviewing for the Postal Service.
That one was really good too. It was basically just me doing a bunch of puns. It was very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's basically the premise. And Stephen King was basically just like, this is a terrible idea. Don't do this. What else we got here? What's the best read along that we've ever done? It's one that we haven't done yet, maybe. But from the ones that we have done, I mean, we've done a ton of them. We've done like what, 5 Battle of the Bands, and those were all really fun.
Oh, are you talking read along or readathon?
Oh, I misread the question.
Well, both are. I think I put both questions on there.
Oh yeah, you did. I just skipped one. But yeah, as far as readathons go, yeah, we've done 5 Battle of the Bands, and those were all really fun. We've done 3 Stephen King related ones
That were all different. Yeah.
Yeah, my favorite one. What were the King ones that we did? We did.
So we did like the villains first, which was the same kind of format as Battle of the Bands. Then we did the Clue readathon, and then we did the Journey to the Dark Tower.
Yeah, I think the Dark Tower one might be my favorite because that was just very creative and fun.
It was a recipe for burnout.
Yeah, it definitely was. But Battle of the Bands, maybe like the first one, was very fun because it was like Led Zeppelin, the Beatles, Queen, and AC/DC. So that was a lot of fun. Beautiful Ugly. Yeah. I mean, spoiler alert, but that's definitely going to be in the video. That book was just bad.
You have a whole rant review on that one.
Oh yeah. And then best read along that we've done. We've done a ton of read alongs.
A lot of Buddy reads a lot of read alongs. But what's been your favorite?
Probably just going back. It's always fun when you get a lot of people engaged in it. And when I first started to do the Stephen King short story book club, so like something for like Night Shift and Skeleton Crew, those were a lot of fun because the way we did those, we did one short story a week, and then kind of everybody was on the same page, no pun intended. But it was a lot of fun to get everyone's reactions to every individual story. It took a long time to read those books, but I think it was worth it, and those were probably my favorite. And the John Mars one is the best read along, of course.
Jake's not even doing that one.
You're not gonna
but I like it.
You're not going to pick Green Rider?
You're not doing that one either.
I'm just saying. Well, she says John Mars is the best one, but what about Green Rider?
I think yeah, it's fun to kind of make everybody else read Green Rider with us. And it's been fun, like getting people into the series and seeing how they respond to everything. But also, I think John Mars was more of like an unexpected, like we're really enjoying some of the books and we didn't necessarily expect to love them as much as we have been. Or like, and it's different, like his different ones feel very different. So it's been kind of the most surprising, I think.
So Nightmares and Dreamscapes is your least favorite short story collection, right? That is definitely true. My least favorite collection in general from King. But what is your favorite story? Definitely Suffer the Little Children. That one, that one's definitely my favorite, and there's a reason for that. All of the rest of the stories were kind of written either in the 90s or the late 80s, but that one was on the table to be in the Night Shift collection, but it got bumped out for, I think, Gray Matter, which is a good one, but Stuff for the Little Children was written kind of around the same time the Night Shift stories were, and that just feels like a better Stephen King short story. Most of the stories in Nightmares and Dreamscapes, short stories, are not short, and they feel very bloated and not very interesting, or just have very dumb premises. But Stuff for the Little Children is like, a diamond in the rough. Oh, okay.
With the John Mars thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Playing off of that, what is your favorite King short story in general?
Oh, he's got like over 100.
Yeah. Well, which one's your favorite? Have you ever done a ranking video for the short stories?
Oh God. Well, I'm not gonna rank every single short story, but I could do like a top 10 or a top 20. But my favorites, Quitters Inc. is really high up there from Night Shift. I think your favorite is Last Rung on the Ladder.
From Night Shift, yeah, and towards the end. That's one of my favorites for sure.
Also from Skeleton Crew. Skeleton Crew, while I think it is overrated in general, has some GOAT ones like the Jaunt and Survivor type. So that might be like my top 3.
With you really like Quitters Inc. Did you say that one already?
Yeah, I did.
The Ledge is the other one I think you really like.
The Ledge is really good. But Quitters Inc. might be my all-time favorite from Night Shift. Tell us your fave story book under each letter of the alphabet. I did this not with books, but I did this with Stephen King characters, and that was a lot of fun. So you can find that video somewhere. I've got too many videos. Yeah, Quitters Inc. is probably my favorite. What book are you most proud to own? I'll be honest, a lot of my books and just our books in general are just kind of regular paperback books. So there's not really a lot to choose from, but I mean, you went with book singular, but I'm just going to say my George R. R. Martin collection in general, because I've got tons of A Song of Ice and Fire books, like newer copies and older copies, and I've got copies of all of his older stuff.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what made him my favorite author of all time. It's not Stephen King. A lot of people still think that, but probably just my George collection in general.
Okay.
And do you have one?
Well, my favorite's still in Canada because I moved here unexpectedly. It's the way it goes with immigration.
Your mom better bring it this time, because I bought you that book and you don't even get to use it.
Yeah, it's my special Kickstarter edition of The Sword of Kaigen.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I got you that for your birthday or
Christmas or
for
something.
Christmas.
I don't remember.
And you got to look at it for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
you moved down here, and
Yeah.
it's been in Canada for a couple years.
Yeah.
Oh well.
That's kind of a story too. So essentially, like, we were engaged, but I had fully intended to come just visit. Like, my dad was having surgery after I was due to get home. But we had a consultation with an immigration lawyer while I was here, and they said, well, since you were here intending to visit, and since you entered legally, like through customs, you have the option of applying to adjust status if you get married. So we decided to do that. And so it was kind of a surprise. I moved. Yeah.
All right. I'm always on the hunt for Rage, just to say I have it, despite people's gripe with it.
Yeah. 'Cause it's
Yeah.
out of print, right?
It's out of print, and if you want like an actual copy of it, because there are some fake copies that people are selling, you have to spend hundreds and hundreds, if not like over $1,000 for it. And I'm not willing to pay that price for any book, let alone for a book that I don't like. But if I found it in the wild and it was not super expensive, I might buy it. But again, it's one of my least favorite King books, so I really don't need it.
I feel like at that point you should buy it and resell it if you knew it was the real thing.
I
But
mean, if I came across it like at a thrift store and I got it for like $1 and nobody knew it, I'd probably just resell it
yeah, that's
or
kinda what I
keep
figured.
it because I am a completionist. But
Don't you already have a copy in the bind up of all the Bachman books?
yeah, like I have a physical copy in the bind up, but the paperback edition, it's too expensive.
Yeah.
What book is on the shelf for Stacy that makes you roll your eyes? um, I mean, you probably know what I'm gonna say.
I have a guess, but I want to hear it from you.
The Red Rising books.
Yeah.
It's your favorite, so I mean, obviously you can have it on the shelf if you want to, but it's not for me.
It has a place of prominence on our shelves and always will.
Yeah, and of course there's more books to come, right? So it is what it is. Yeah. Um what book do you most want Stacy to read to talk about it with her? What book has she read that you wish she loved?
So there's kind of two questions in there.
Yeah. Hmm. What book do I want you to read?
What are you most excited for me to read?
Oh.
So I could talk to you about it.
Stormlight. You've been saying for years you're going to read Stormlight, and I want you to read it and see what all the hype is about.
Okay.
And then the other question, what book have you read that I wish that you loved? There's a lot of books that like I understand retroactively why you don't like. So Imaginary Friends is one of my favorites. I think at the time I wasn't like completely aware of your reading taste, so I thought you were going to like it, but looking back, it makes sense that you didn't like it. But there might be other books that you've read. I can't think of anything at the moment, though. Do you have any ideas?
Wonderland by Zoe Stage, maybe.
But yeah, I mean, it's the same thing with Imaginary Friend, though. Like, it makes sense why you don't like that book. But there's got to be a book that you've read, like recently, maybe that I thought you were going to enjoy, but you didn't.
I don't know about recently. But I didn't know if you would say like Misery here because you love Misery.
I think if you went back and reread that book, you would not hate it. You
Maybe.
might not love it, but I don't think you're going to hate it.
I am more tolerant of slower pacing now, and I did go into it anticipating that it was going to be a thriller. Somebody had told me that, and it's not.
In our town, there's an elderly man who runs a bookstore as a hobby, and he owns a copy of the Bachman books that was signed by by Mrs. Bachman. That's hilarious. What else we got here? That would be a fun. Yeah, that would be fun. What else we got here? Oh, that's it. That's all the questions. Good thing you wrote down some of these questions. If anyone else in the chat has questions to ask me, now would be the time because we're coming up on the hour and I'm not going to be here for too much longer. Do you have any other questions for me?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I came up with a whole list already.
I know, but I'm trying to fill some time here.
What's your favorite collaboration you've done?
Like video?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be with me.
I've been really probably, I mean, Fina's here. We did a whole read along for Bachman books, and we did 2 live shows for them. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we had some interesting opinions on all of the Bachman books.
Yeah, you guys did a couple live shows, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite collaboration. I haven't really done that many.
My favorite was when I had to make you guess whose favorite books they were. Like Jake guess his friend's favorite books, like a playoff of Smosh.
Yeah, I forgot we did that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
That one, yeah, y'all tried your best to throw me off so much in that one. Like, like when Evie didn't have Stephen Graham Jones on her list, I was like, "What?"
And Fina didn't have Green Rider.
Yeah, I was like, "What?"
Sci-fi.
God. All right.
That was great.
Favorite Stephen King collab? Honestly, I don't really like when he collabs with other people. Like with Peter Straub, didn't really work.
You don't like Gwendy, really?
Yeah, the Gwendy books aren't very good. Well, I think. Well, yeah, I'd have to go with Gwendy's Button Box because I think that one was written with Richard Chismar, and that one I actually liked, but the rest of them were not good. So that's probably my answer. He also has done some stuff with his sons, like Owen King and Joe King. Those ones, not the biggest fan of either. So really, I don't really like it when he collabs very much. What would you do if King only wrote Holly books forevermore? Well, like I mentioned, I am a completionist. I will read them, but I will not have a good time with them.
You would have a rant section on your channel or a new rant playlist. Yeah.
Oh God. And yes,
Yeah.
those were you especially love. I think you liked Bachman books more than me. I think your favorite is Roadwork, which my favorite's Roadwork too, but like that's your all-time favorite King book, which is hilarious. It's a great video, or it's a great book. Rant video and yep, oh boy. Yeah, I'm really hoping because like the past, like You Like It Darker is like the best thing King has written in a while, but we've gotten Holly and Never Flinch, and now we're gonna get Talisman 3. So I'm really hoping we just get like a regular standalone novel. It doesn't even have to be horror, just not Holly, not Talisman. Also, Fairy Tale is kind of a weird fantasy. So just go back to writing standalone books that are like really good.
Hey.
Hello. But yeah,
Have you done any other like Stephen King collab videos that are your favorite other than the live shows with Vina?
if I did, I'm not remembering them.
You have one planned with Ian at some point.
Yeah, so me and Ian at the end of the year, if you guys don't know, we've been doing the Stephen King book club. Started with like different seasons in January, and we're reading one book a month. At the end of the year in December or maybe early January, me and Ian are going to do a live show basically ranking the books that we read for the book club and just talking about them.
Oh, that wasn't what I was thinking.
What?
I don't know if you want me to tell the people, but it's a play off a video you and I have done together with just different authors in general.
Oh, what?
And so that you want to do a Stephen King edition of.
I don't even remember what this is. What is it? Just tell the people. Just tell the
Okay.
people.
So it's when Jake and I did like a what if this author wrote this book, where you pull them slips out of a cup and you get like weird matchups, and then you kind of have your gut reaction on those matchups and how it would look. You and Ian want to do a Stephen King edition of that.
We've probably both forgotten that was happening.
Well, good thing that I can remind you.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun when you guys get to it.
Yeah. Or if we, I don't even know if we're doing that anymore.
Okay. You should. It'd be fun.
Okay. Story for another day, but someone stole my hardback copy of Fairy Tale at the Beach. Well, it's not very good, so maybe they did you a favor. As long as you got to read the first 200 pages, you're good.
That's still such a frustrating
I know. I'm
though.
joking. I'm joking. Never Flinch your fave, right? Oh yeah, my all-time favorite. Not really.
What is your like most modern King book fave? Like one that he's come out with recently?
Oh, I would say in the past 10 years, my favorite novel would probably be Revival.
Okay.
That one's like consistently great for me. And then recently, as far as collections go, You Like It Darker was almost perfect. There's like one or two short stories that are just fine, but the rest of the collection, especially the novellas in the collection, are just top notch. So that was like a return to form for King, because a lot of his novels lately just haven't been good. Never Flinch, Holly, Fairy Tale, like a lot of his novels just haven't been good. But You Like It Darker was excellent.
Yeah. I think for me, if I had read it, it would probably be Billy Summers.
Yeah, that might have been his last like great novel. I'm trying to think. But yeah, recently like his novels haven't been that good. His collections have been stellar. If It Bleeds was great. You Like It Darker was great. So maybe he'll come out with another collection soon, and then I'll like that more.
It's gonna have Holly stories in it though.
Just be done with Holly. No more Holly. Get rid of her.
Kill her off.
You don't have to just make her retire. Make her do something. Yeah, I would highly recommend both of those. Doomickey is like an all-time favorite. Billy Summers is like very good. So yeah, I recommend both of them. I think you'll get along with Billy Summers.
Yeah.
It is one of those books though, because you sometimes have a problem when Stephen King has a premise and then kind of halfway through he shifts that premise. He definitely
Yeah.
does that in Billy Summers. So it
Could go either way.
yeah.
Definitely there are cases where he does that and I like it, and there are cases where he does that where I don't like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, the perfect example, in my opinion, is A Dead Zone. But I know a lot of people don't like that book or they think it's mid because of that. But for me, it works out perfectly.
He built up to this mystery I was intrigued by, and then he solved it out of nowhere really quickly, which frustrated me. And then he went into political stuff, which was meh.
I liked it.
Meh.
Yeah. We are going to be doing I know we were talking about read-alongs or readathons earlier, and we only did one Battle of the Bands. We took a break in July just to catch up on other stuff. But this time in October, we are going to be doing a Stephen King readathon again, and we were going to originally do something else, but learning about the Long Walk movie, we're actually going to be doing the Long Walk themed readathon, and me and Stacy are going to be planning that soonish.
Yes.
And we're going to be announcing that sometime in early September, and then October is going to be the Long Walk readathon, which I think will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it should be. I haven't read The Long Walk, so it's going to be interesting to plan a readathon on a book that I have not read.
It's a very simple, all you really have to know is the premise.
Yeah, I do know the premise.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
Because the rest of the book is basically just people dying.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of brainstorming with some of our captains, and we've picked up some supplies to create some things. So, should be soon.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Feeny is one of the captains.
Yes.
We have the general concept, but we have to plan out everything.
Yeah.
Is this thing, and we don't want to give too much away because kind of the fun of it is like revealing it early in the month, and then people get to join teams, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and your patrons always get early access to all the readathon package information.
Yes, they take advantage of that, and they get to pick their team first before everybody. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, so we can't say too much here because they always get the first crack.
Yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, here's hoping.
Yeah, well, no, it's gonna be awesome. We're saying right now, it's gonna be awesome.
Oh, the readathon's gonna be awesome, but how it goes for everybody is gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Anything else you wanted to say?
I think that might be it, unless anyone else. I'll give a couple more minutes for everybody who, if you want to ask some questions, do it now because I'll probably be leaving soon.
Yeah, you must have fun. That's in the rules.
We're gonna have fun. I could talk about what I'm reading currently. I watched, funny story, I watched Ian, he's not here anymore, but Ian did kind of a live show collaboration with a few people talking about Tough Voyaging, which is a random George R. R. Martin novel. And hearing that discussion just kind of sparked something into me. And now I'm going back and doing a reread of all of his stuff, starting in chronological order, because it's been so long since I've read George, and I love all the stuff. I just finished his first short story collection, A Song for Leah, gave it 5 stars, of course, and I'm just super excited to go back and read all of his stuff. You made it at the very end. We're probably going to be leaving in like maybe 5 or 10 minutes, but glad you're here. But yeah, basically I'm going to be reading all of George's stuff. And then me and Ian, I think sometime next year, are going to reread. Well, I'm going to reread. Ian's going to read for the first time A Song of Ice and Fire, which will be a lot of fun.
So you're going to have channels on the Discord?
I'm not sure what we're doing yet.
Okay.
But he's read the first book, and he's read it years ago, but he never finished it. He never finished the series. So he needs to rectify that, and I want to do it as well.
Okay.
So it'll be fun.
I will say Dance with Dragons was my least favorite one. I loved the first 4, and then that one was like
They're all 5 stars for me. But that is a general complaint is that
Yeah.
it really like books 4 and 5 are usually people's least favorites. I liked them. I liked them a lot because I watched the first 4 seasons of the show, which is essentially the first 3 books, and then I wanted to know what was happening after that, so I binged through all of the books, and books 4 and 5 is basically mostly everything after the show. So those books really felt fresh to me, and I burned through those books, so I really liked them.
Yeah, I think for me, like 5 rehashes some of the events of book 4, but in a different perspective. And so I wanted something fresher, I guess. And then a lot of the stuff that was new was a lot of setup for things that hadn't happened yet. So plot wise, it was not as good as the other ones for me.
And you still need to read Night of the Seven Kingdoms,
Yes.
which is 3 prequel novellas that take place 100 years before the events of book 1.
Yeah, and they follow Aegon.
Egg.
And yeah, Egg or Aegon Targaryen and Dunk, who I don't know who that is yet.
Very tall knight.
Okay.
So, yeah, those ones definitely have a different tone than the rest of the series. It's a bit lighter, but the storytelling in it is still really good. So, very, very good. Favorite. We're opening up a can of worms here. I would say my 3 favorite shows of all time. Family Guy #1, which you haven't seen, but I don't think you'll like.
Well,
it anyway.
I've seen the odd episode, but I haven't like sat down.
Family Guy is my like comfort show. Like I love, it's the funniest thing ever. And then #2, which you have seen, is Dexter. I made her watch Dexter.
And the reboot, well, the first reboot.
Now there's
multiple reboots,
which we're gonna have. Well, you don't have to, but I'll go back and watch them. Dexter, one of my favorite shows. And then Seinfeld is my favorite sitcom, which I made you watch, and you were like, eh.
Well, yeah, I mean, I liked some of them, but he's like, every episode's a classic, and
Well,
everyone is amazing. I'm like, some of them are good.
Yeah, you were like, let me guess, it's a classic.
Yeah,
they're all classics.
We have the fridge magnets, and I now understand the references behind all of the magnets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if you're a fan of fantasy, you should check out A Song of Ice and Fire. Maybe you can buddy read it with me and Ian next year.
Yeah, you can make channels on the Discord, and whoever wants to read it can read it. If I make you make that a read along, then you'll stop making other read alongs that I want to participate in but don't have time to participate in. So that one.
Yeah, I think next year we should just not do as many buddy reads and read along, because this year we've got way too many. We went overboard.
Well, I already know I want to do Red Rising next once I wrap up with Green Rider, because book 7, the final one, is coming out next summer. So.
Well, you can do that while I do A Song of Ice and Fire.
Okay. Because I have already read A Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah. I've got the Game of Thrones books. Yeah. So we're probably going to be checking them out next year.
Yeah. I think kind of book 3 is where it starts getting different from the show, right? The end of book 3.
A Song of Ice and Fire?
Yeah.
I mean, the very end of book 3.
Yeah.
But mainly like books 4 and 5 is where it starts to get very different. But yeah. What are your favorite TV shows?
I'm not a huge TV watcher, but one that I like Big Bang Theory. That's kind of a comfort watch. One that was like a comfort watch when I was younger that I sometimes will go rewatch is Gilmore Girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of that with you.
Yeah.
It was fine.
When we were dating, I would put it on like to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
And you would fall asleep in and out.
Oh, instantly.
Yeah.
But you
Supernatural.
Yeah, I was going to say, you haven't mentioned
Yeah.
Supernatural. I like it. It's not the best.
Well, you've only seen like the first few episodes of season 1. Okay, you can't judge the show based on that. Season 5 is like you need to get to season 5.
I have to watch 4 full seasons of the
Listen,
show.
I watched how many seasons of Dexter for you?
Well, the first 4 seasons are the best.
I watched them all, okay? And the reboot.
And you loved every single episode. Right?
No.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh boy, we
Where's
got
that?
some Gilmore Girl lovers here.
I love that for you.
Who is Luke?
The character from Gilmore Girls, the diner owner.
Oh.
Luke from Luke's Coffee. You have seen him on the show.
You have seen him on the show.
Oh, that's awesome. The watch that I did with my mom of a sitcom that I love is Golden Girls. I think you did the same with your mom.
Not the whole thing, but
No.
yeah, Golden Girls was, yeah, that's a good show.
This is one I haven't watched yet, but maybe I need to.
But I was gonna say I also like Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
It's a mutual favorite of ours.
Okay.
I've heard good things.
Yeah, I haven't watched that one.
And obviously, Game of Thrones was one of my favorite shows, but then it went way
Off the rails.
It went off the rails. Like, even, I mean, a lot of people are just like, "Oh, season 8 was terrible," but for me, season 5 is where it started to get bad. Like, just really bad decision making for the writing. First 4 seasons are fantastic, and then seasons 5 through 8, there's like a handful of good episodes, but generally just it went off the rails and it was not good.
I think for me it was season 7 when it started getting noticeable.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there are good there are good episodes in seasons 5 and 6, but then you get to season 7 and it's not good.
I think for me, like, I don't necessarily hate all of the endings of season 8. Like, some of them I do, but some of them, like, I hated how rushed it was, because if it had been stretched out over like several seasons and we got like more nuance to why the character motivations went the way they did, or like why things went the way they did, it would have been fine.
And I think George, like, he's probably going to go in that direction, but the way he's going to write it, if he ever gets to it, is going to be a bit more nuanced, and it's actually going to make cohesive sense. And there's going to be a lot more other factors in it as well. The show really kind of just focused on, like, the show really just cut out so much stuff from the books that I just, it's frustrating.
I bet you somebody has like a Lorelai reference with him when they go in.
Oh boy. Now that I do know.
Yeah.
Any other?
Is there any other show we need to watch together? We started House of the Dragon when season 1 was finished, but we have to go back and watch that.
Yeah.
And I have to get you more into Supernatural. We're currently working our way through Brooklyn Nine-Nine, which is a rewatch for me, but a first-time watch for Jake.
That's another mutual favorite. I was going to say, I think when we're done with the books, we might go back and watch Outlander.
Oh, yeah.
Because we did the first half of season 1, which was very good, but we never went back and watched it.
Well, I watched it up to like however many seasons were released at the time, because I had already read the books. But then they started like, I was kind of sticking to one season was one novel, and I was all caught up and I knew what to expect. But then when they got to season 5, they had things from book 6 in season 5, and I was like, oh crap. So then I stopped, and then instead of doing like a reread of the series to pick up the next book, I was going to do a rewatch of the show, and that's when we started. And then he got into it, decided he was going to read the book.
I've read the first 4 books now. I got to catch up a little bit, but
yeah,
I think we're kind of in agreement. Like, the first 2 books were the best.
They're my favorite. Yeah.
And then I've read books 3 and 4, and they were kind of just both 3-star books, and they keep getting longer, and it's just like, oh.
Yeah, book 5 gets longer. And it's not the most exciting
And it's not, I won't call it a slog, but it's just not a lot happens. And really the only thing that's keeping me going is the characters.
Yeah.
So
book 5 had like a lot of like, it kind of felt like a bunch of short stories with the characters put into a novel.
Oh boy.
But then book 6 started getting good again. So.
Okay. And it's supposed to be a 10-book series, and I think she's currently working on the 10th book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. But there is also like a novella collection.
This is kind of random, but I think one of the questions you asked me were like, was there any books that I wanted you to read that I thought you would love? Do you have any books that you want me to read that you think I'm going to like?
Probably. But off the top of my head, what do I most want you to read?
Is there any fantasy?
I have to go look at the shelf. Give me a minute.
She'll be right back, and Ozzy is following her. What do we got here? Xena Warrior Princess. Is that a show? I have not seen it.
I know.
But you know.
I know.
Well, what is it? Come show the lovely people.
Well, I didn't get it, but
well, tell the people when you're on camera.
This is one that I want Jake to retry because he DNF'd book 2 in the series, but it's a favorite series for me, and it is the Night Angel trilogy by Brent Weeks.
Okay.
I like it more than Lightbringer, and I understand why you DNF'd in book 2 because there were things in the first half of book 2 that I was like, not the biggest fan of, but it got a lot better.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know when, but I'll eventually go back and read it.
Yeah.
Because I liked book 1 when I read it. It was like a 4-star book.
It's a 5-star book. What are you talking about?
I'm talking about for me.
It's a
we're
10 out
all-
of 10 plot.
We're all allowed to have our opinions here.
Come
You
here.
want to show the people Ozzy?
Well, he's like in our face, so you might as well come up and have a snuggle.
Okay. Well, yeah, and I DNF book 2 just because I didn't really. Yeah, I don't really quite remember, but I didn't like it.
There's some plot direction stuff that I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But it does get better.
There's the pup.
Hey,
Yes, he's very cute. He's also a menace to society.
buddy. Well, he's a needy boy, and he's very high energy. So, like, he basically will get in your face and start bothering you if he hasn't been W'd, FETCH'd, or like goofed around with.
Yep. He's a goofball
But he is a very sweet boy, and he's pretty well behaved for the most part.
when he wants to be.
Yeah. And I have to tell him sometimes you have to listen. He knows what that means. He's like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And we have another dog, if I can get her on here.
Noelle, come here, girl.
Noelle.
Come here. Come here, Noelle. Oh. Yeah, there's Noelle. Hi.
We have a dog party.
We have a zoo in this house. Hi. We have 2 cats as well, but they're both hiding at the moment.
We live in a zoo.
Yeah.
I used to,
The only one that's my fault is Ozzy. I had him before Jake and I were dating. So
Yeah, when I was growing up, we had in my house we had either 4 dogs and 3 cats at one point, or at one point we had 3 dogs and 4 cats. It was not
That sounds like
not
chaos.
pleasant. It was too many. Oh, really?
yeah.
But yeah, it was, it was something else. But now we have 2 dogs and 2 cats. It's still a zoo, but it's much more manageable.
Yeah. And Ozzy never grew up with cats, so that was kind of an interesting transition. But thankfully, both the cats are very patient with him because he is a herding dog and he likes to follow them around and tell them where to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thankfully, they're both very patient with you. Yeah.
All right, I think we're gonna end now because on that note, we're gonna end. Thank you guys so much for joining, and thanks for all the questions. Very interesting questions to answer, and thank you, Stacy, for joining,
You're welcome.
as well as our dogs.
Ozzy and Noelle.
Another sneeze.
She's not done either.
Oh boy, we're gonna go now. Thanks everybody, and we'll see you later. Bye.
Bye. Ozzy's like, who are we saying bye to? What's going on?